So who would not want to hit the ball like #1 in the world, Scottie Scheffler, right? He had the dream season last year. Some of his statistics, right, his stroke gained per round was 2.62 strokes over the field. That was only second to Mr. Tiger Woods in 2006, right? Other than that, it was one of the best ball striking years ever, okay? #1 in strokes gained total, strokes gained off the tee first, strokes gained approach to green first, first in greens in regulation, proximity 175 to 200 yards first. So many first places. It was an absolutely outstanding ball striking year for this gentleman. He hit the ball so well. So maybe there's some secrets into what he does that we could steal that could help us hit the golf ball better, right? And I think we look no further than actually what he's doing with the lower body. And a lot of times, to most people, it looks very quirky and very weird, but we're going to see some of that same motion with the greatest players in the world. They're doing a lot of very similar things, and they're not doing what I'm always seeing sometimes on the lesson tee. I see a lot of what I call the stanky leg, right? And it's not the dance, it's a lot of this stuff coming down, right? We see this right heel and right foot really kind of going in this motion. Sometimes what I also see is I see the double stanky leg where we see both heels coming up, right, as we get near to impact, right? It could look like this as they get into impact. It could look like this, but there's definitely some different footwork, right? When you look at some video here, here's a couple different players. I've got Tony Finau. Watch his footwork. I've got some video here of Tiger hitting a driver. Watch his footwork. Rory McIlroy hitting. Their feet are doing something totally different than what your average golfer's doing, okay? And obviously Scottie Scheffler is the most extreme, right? We can all seen videos of how awkward and different his footwork is, but I'm telling you, the beauty is in some of that chaos that looks so weird and so different. It's the same exact moves that Ben Hogan and a lot of great players were using and have been using. Literally, their feet are pushing this way as they hit the golf ball. And from there, they're able to continue their rotation all the way through, okay, in one seamless motion. So the drill is going to look exactly like that, right? I want you to start slowly, okay, because it's a little bit dangerous. You're going to, just right as you get down near impact, you're going to let your trail hand come off the club, okay? You're going to start with a nice, slow, easy one. So my trail hand's going to come off, and you notice as that happens, I feel like a baseball home run hitter. Watch how my lead shoulder continues to rotate and move, right? Feel like Babe Ruth hitting a home run there, right? There's so much extension. So the next part, once you get a couple swings, just feeling that, which is a great feeling in itself, there's a time in the golf swing, right, where we're pulling the club down, right? I'm pulling the handle and the grip down. And there's a point in the swing where the club kind of overtakes and it actually starts to really pull on us. So that transition is very crucial. So it happens just near impact. I actually start to feel like the club is pulling me. Obviously I'm balanced, but I'm just holding on to a club that's pulling me through, okay? Check out some of these follow-throughs of Scottie Scheffler, some of these different players. You're going to see that same exact reaction and motion. Most golfers, as they're hitting it, they're still really pulling hard on the club and trying to overpower some of that motion rather than going along for just a nice free ride. Okay, so part 2 of the drill, right, once you've kind of got a feeling for letting your trail hand come off at impact, you're going to take your rear foot kind of like a bowler, and we're going to slide it just towards our rear side here, okay? So right near impact, I'm going to slide my trail foot this way. Again, trail hand's going to come off, trail foot's going to slide through. Couple pitfalls, don't stop your turn and just do this, right? You notice how my shoulders are still pretty square? We don't want that. We want to try, even just slowly at first, to let everything keep turning, okay? And one of the biggest things you'll feel if I show you from this view, I have constant pressure on my lead foot as I do this drill. So that's a really important thing with what Scottie and some of these great players are doing. Most people, when they get near impact, when we put them on a pressure mat, there's a lot of backup because there's a lot of squirming with this lead foot. You'll see it jumping and moving around a lot. That's going to cause the body to stall, and it's going to cause eventually a disruption to how the club releases. So when you go through doing this drill, I'm not swinging very hard, but this lead leg is taking the constant force of me turning up onto it, right? Because obviously my right foot is sliding backwards, so all the force is going into this lead leg just continuously. And it feels really good. Okay, now, if you've made it this far and you're being brave, we're going to try to hit a couple easy 7-irons, just doing that same drill, okay? And I would be happy if this ball went relatively straight and maybe 100 yards at first. Okay, so not bad. That one went 120 yards or so, slightly right of target. It's a pretty brave move to actually hit golf balls like that. You definitely want to start with practice swing. And by all means, if you just do practice swings like this, it will totally help your footwork. You're going to feel some sensations that you've never felt before. You're going to get some feelings in your lead leg. You're going to feel some sensations in your lead shoulder that are very, very productive in consistent shots. Okay, so transitioning from, say, practice swings or hitting a few balls doing that, let's go ahead and make some real golf swings without the hand coming off. So I don't have to necessarily slide my foot back, but I do want to feel, if anything, like there's pressure kind of pushing me this way rather than things going into the golf ball. Okay, that's definitely the direction we're not looking for. The feeling of greatness that these great ball strikers have is this direction with their feet. You know, you'll even see some of them when they really try to hit drivers hard, you'll see everything is jumping back this way. When players are not hitting it well, everything's going in that direction. I'll even see them hop into the ball that way, and we're just wreaking havoc on the shaft of the club sometimes.
Hey, it's your coach Zach Allen here, and when it comes to the golf swing, I've seen and tried it all. But nothing is proven as effective as the concept I'm about to share with you now. It is the single most powerful piece of golfing advice I've ever come across. In fact, I would go so far as to call it a magic move. Since I don't have the time in this short video, I've put together a 3-part web class where I teach you exactly how to put it to use in your game. Nothing held back. I call it my Magic Move Training Series, and you can get the entire thing free of charge by clicking the link in the description below. You won't find these videos anywhere else, so go ahead, click the link right now, and I'll send you the first session right away. Okay, let's go ahead and get back to that lesson.
Okay, so we're going to take some swings where I'm going to feel that same sensation. I feel almost like this. Reminds me a lot of Greg Norman when he was #1 in the world. His foot would slide back, very much like Scottie Scheffler. Take a little insert of this right there of him doing that. Brings that to mind. So you'll definitely notice when you start to do this correctly, the ball flies a lot straighter. So as that club went to release and move through, I feel like everything is staying back in this direction as I continue to kind of let the club just orbit and swing around my body. So take a little cue from Scottie Scheffler and some of these great players. Do a little bit of work through what's going on in your feet. Explore with that practice swing just slowly, right? Just getting a feel for some different forces and some different motions, different footwork. And you'll get a little sense of just what he did to become #1 in the world. That quirky move that a lot of people make light of and make fun of, that's part of what brought him to one of the best ball striking seasons ever. And I know if you're like me, when I look at his swing, it's not just necessarily this thing of beauty, but boy, it is so functional, okay? So you see that in great golf swings that look very aesthetically good, but you see it in very functional swings like his that just his swing literally just pays the bills time and time again. He's hitting it so well. Driver, irons, just everything. So we all need some of that. Let's work some of those Scottie Scheffler drills in there and see if it doesn't change your footwork. If you have any questions about any of these things, post them down below. I'd love to hear your insights. Obviously, I know some of them, it's a challenging drill. Be careful when you're letting your hand off the golf club. I've also got another video up here that's related to the lower body that I want you to take a look at if you want a little more information on exactly what you need your lower body to be doing. Other than that, have a great week, and I will see you next golf video. Until then, be like Scottie Scheffler.